you're looking to break 100, break 90 or even break 80, then today we're going to give you 3 tips of how you can lower your scores out here on the golf course. And that's right guys, we're out on the golf course here today on Get Good at Golf. I am Chris, and if you want to get good at golf then make sure to hit that subscribe button. But today we're out on the golf course. If you haven't had time to get to the range this week and you're wanting to lower your scores, then there's a few things that you can do to help you hit it a little bit further, hit more fairways, hit more greens and get your handicap down. But let's get into point number 1. Now point number 1 comes with this club right here, so the driver. So how many times I see people get their driver out, they want to hit it down the middle, so what do? You're just attracted to the middle of this tee box, and if you're somebody who slices a golf ball, potentially you're going to start it down the middle and fade it into the rough. If you're maybe a hooker of the golf ball or a drawer of the golf ball, you might start it down the middle and draw it into the trees on the left, or hook it into the trees on the left. So you have to think about it. What is the shot you play with? Because yes, we can't change that on the tee box. Unfortunately, you are going to have whatever shot shape you normally have. Famous last words, because you could hit one the opposite way. But if we're going on your normal shot shape, we need to think about how we can make the tee box help you. And you might be thinking, what do you mean? Well, if we move the camera around, if I'm a drawer of the golf ball and I come down here onto the left hand side of this tee box, you will see, if I pop that camera around, or down even, we've got a lot more view of the right hand side of this hole. So I could take my normal setup here on the left hand side of the tee box, I could hit my normal shape, I could aim down the right edge of the fairway, and if I overhook it, I'm going to be on the left side of the fairway or just into the rough. If I hit it dead straight, I'm again on the right hand side of the fairway or just in the right rough, and if I hit my standard shot, I'm going to be in the middle of the fairway. Now this is certainly not going to knock your socks off, but if I'm a fader of the golf ball, again I can come over onto this side of the tee box. Yes, my bag is slightly in the way there, but we could tee it up right here. So I can aim down that left hand side of the fairway at those bunkers. If I fade it like I normally do, I'm going to find the middle of the fairway. If I overfade it, I'm going to be in the right hand rough. So the biggest thing here is trying to eradicate losing golf balls for no reason. Use that tee box to your advantage. Just because it's wide and this is the full length of the tee, you don't need to just go into the middle. If you watch the PGA Tour, if you watch the DP World Tour, if you watch Live Golf, you'll see people move all over the tee box to help them with their shot shape. So for me at the moment, I'm overdrawing the ball a little bit, or you could say hooking the ball. So I'm going to go onto that left hand side. So on the left hand side of this tee box, I'm not going to do anything different. Just because I'm over here, I'm not going to aim more right, which might encourage me to overdraw it a little bit more. I'm going to aim down that right hand side, make a normal swing. And that's the classy. So that has gone bullet straight. I mean, it's drawn around about a yard, but that just puts me into the right hand rough, and I've got a shot straight up this hole. Straight up this hole is where we get to point number 2. Now there's a good drive just short of the longer stuff, but point number 2 is from here. So we have an uphill shot right here, and if I get my rangefinder out here, I can see that we have got 190 yards, but it's actually playing 202 with the slope. So using your rangefinder to your advantage, because how many people there would go, oh, it's 190, so for me that is X club. Well, it's actually playing a little bit further, and on average what I would say is I see golfers come up short. So I see golfers on average probably 60, 70, maybe even 80% of the time come up short. It's very rare that we see people go long, but it's often because of miscalculated this kind of shot. So right here we do have another 11 yards on the yardage, and that could be a full club, that might be 2 clubs, and this is where you've got to think. We don't want to be short here. All the trouble is short here on the 13th hole at Lindrick. So I'm using that to my advantage. I'm changing clubs. So instead of me going right 190, I could probably squeeze a 6-iron there with a good strike. I've now gone up to my 4-iron. So I've gone up 2 clubs because I feel like I'm going to be a little bit more under control with this club, and if I am long, it's the best place to be. If I'm short, we've got some deep bunkers. So think about holes at your course. Do you have a lot of slope on your course? Is it uphill, downhill? I see the same when it's downhill. A lot of people go, oh, that's downhill a long way, so I'm going to drop back probably 3 clubs. You come up way short again because you've over exaggerated it, and then here we under exaggerate it. We're not taking enough club to make sure that we get there. So again here, 4 iron. A nice low penetrating flight there, and that is up on the green, landed on the front edge. So even with a reasonable strike out of the rough, just landed on the front edge, and that will have run probably just past pin high, but much easier than trying to muscle a 6 iron there. So think about it, guys. On your course, do you have a lot of holes with slope? Because you need to make sure you're using your rangefinder to your advantage. If you're looking at rangefinders, there's plenty on the market. They don't have to be expensive, but if you've got slope, can't use it in competition. But if you know on average what your holes are doing when you go out to your Saturday medal, you know, go, well, I always used to hit a 6 iron here, but I know now it's a 5 iron. So guys, these are some simple on-course tips that you can do, and if you've never had an online, or not an online lesson, an on-course lesson, then make sure you think, if you're having lessons, maybe get them out on the golf course, see if you're making a few of these mistakes yourself, or really think about it this weekend when you get out there. Are you making silly mistakes? Are you losing golf balls that you don't need to lose? Because a lot of things can be rescued, or they can be fixed just by making little changes, and this is the big thing here. We're not asking for something dramatic, using the tee box to your advantage. A lot of people have a rangefinder, and if you have a watch, maybe just start going off the back number, because that might help you get your ball on the green more and not coming up short. So all things that you can do very simply, very quickly, to shave a few shots off your score and hopefully off that handicap. So up here on these freshly cut greens here at Lindrick, a fantastic job by the greenkeepers. You can see we are pin high. Yes, we've got a little bit of a distance to the hole, but let's talk about the next tip. Now we all know putting is a bit of a funny topic, because how many times do we see people on the putting green? Do we see practicing putting? It's very rare. So from this distance you're probably thinking, okay, well, it's an outside chance of holing it. And here I want you to think, yes, we want to hole it, but I'm more thinking about my pace. How can I judge getting this close? Because so stopping 3 putts from this distance is what is going to lower your scores and lower your handicap. So straight away, we are going to read this putt. So I've got this coming from right to left. And a lot of people say, oh, I visualize a curve, or I've got a point next to the hole. Perfect. If you have that, that's exactly what we want to do, because we know then you've got a rough idea of why you maybe missed the putt. What I want you to do is bring it back to just in front of the golf ball, because we want a point in front on that line or on that curve that you visualise to start to get us working that ball over. So for me, there is an indent just here, a foot inside, a foot onto the line, because what I can do is it's very much easier for me to focus on getting that ball starting on that line than it is thinking about getting it hitting a point up there. So we're thinking about something nice and close, and then from there you can work out exactly if you've started it online. Is that why you've holed it, or is that why you've potentially missed? Because then we know if you've got the right putter, or if your technique's a little bit off, you might need a lesson. But then what I want you to do is think about that routine. So I've lined it up, or I've picked my point in front. You don't have to line it up, but I've picked my point in front. Then what I want to do is come in here and visualize that speed. So make a couple of swings without stopping, and then we're going to come in here pretty quickly and repeat that. So you will see there the line was good, the pace wasn't bad, and you might think, oh, it's left a bit of a tester, but tour average from here, 30 feet, will be 3 foot from the hole, and that's around about 1.5 feet away. But what I do see a lot of people doing is not lining the ball up, everything's a bit tense. Oh, it's my turn, I've got to get in here, strangling the putter. All right, that's not bad. Oh, great shot. Right, we're quickly 6, 7 or 8 feet past the hole there, and we're now in the territory of that putt from there is 50-50 chance. We're opening up the 3 putt, we're adding shots to your score. So if we can make sure that we read our putt, pick a line just in front, start to see if it starts on the line when we hit the putt, but focus on pace. Pace putting is going to help you lower your scores. Let's jump on the next tee because we have a bonus tip for you. Right, bonus tip with your driver to hit the longest drives you ever have. And it's by getting this correct right here. So tee height, are you teeing it on the gold setting, are you teeing it on the red, or are you teeing it on the blue? So this is where you've got to decide. You could potentially, you might be a castle teer, you might use the castle tees, which I think are fantastic because they set you to the same height every single time. But figure out what you are. Are you a white castle tee? Are you a pink castle tee? Are you maybe the orange castle tee or the grey castle tee? Because they've certainly changed in the last couple of years. But getting the right tee height for you is essential to getting the correct strike. And you might get something, or you might wet the face, hit a shot and start to see where your strike pattern is. You might even get some foot spray as it is, or you can buy sprays online for if you're going to the driving range. Spray it on your face and start to see where your pattern is off a certain tee height, because let's say you've got the white castle tee, which a lot of people use, including my granddad many years ago, but maybe you're getting it low on the face, so you're not getting the ball speed, you're not getting the distance, you're not hitting it past Barry, your playing partner. If we move that into a pink castle tee, we might move that strike location up ever so slightly. We'll get more ball speed. We'll still have the same control because all that's happened is the tee's got higher, but we might be able to get you that little bit more launch and that little bit more distance. The opposite, you might be catching the top of your driver, you might be having those dreaded roof marks on there, and you might want to go down a tee. You might be on the pink and you're going down to the white, and it's all personal because it's all dependent on your angle of attack and what you are trying to achieve or how you are delivering it, whether you want to achieve that or that's just how your swing works. But I've got this set on that second notch on this tee because I like it to be a little bit lower, and from there we can get that ball launching pretty low there. That was a low strike. It's drawing up the left hand side of that fairway, but ball speed is up. You can see if I go a little bit higher here, let me nudge that up to that yellow marker. This really strikes fear into me because I think I'm going to go straight under that, but let's see and see how this can change your ball flight. So a higher launch there, but I really feel like I've had to work that. Let's get up there and see where they have gone. So it'll really highlight how getting the right tee height can help you hit further drives, hit it longer, potentially hit it straighter, more importantly, lower those scores. So we can see in the fairway from that second shot with that higher tee. So certainly not in a bad position, but if we pick that seed golf ball up and we head over to this side of the hole, I believe I'll be up here in the rough, but we're still walking forwards, and if we can find it, which we should, it was ever so slightly left, but you will see, can we see one up here? I think I can see the top of one there. Yeah, so we can see we are in the rough, but we are around about 20-30 yards further up, and it's certainly an easier shot to get on this par 5 in 2 from there. So guys, there's 4 tips there to help you on the course shave a few shots off those scores. If we can do that, we can get your handicap down, we can get you hitting the ball better, hitting it a little bit further, and hopefully beating your playing partners. But guys, if you're enjoying that content, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you very soon.